Okay, sorry. Okay, we're gonna do a quick review of each lesson that we have learned so far in case you have questions about it. For example, the exercises, the grammatical structure, vocabulary, because Thursday, let me check the dates. Sorry. On Thursday, that is our last lesson for this week, we're gonna have our first exam, and we're gonna evaluate in this case the units that we have learned so far. In this case, from unit 1 to unit 3. Okay, and we have learned many topics related to the English language. Okay, so far, do you have any questions about all the topics that we have learned? Would you like to share something with me? Would you like to ask me something? Alejandro, do you have questions?
No, I think no.
Okay. Benjamin, do you have any questions from all the units?
No, okay, it's okay.
It's okay. Alicia?
No.
Okay. Rodrigo, do you have any questions?
I think no, not yet.
No, yet. Okay. Okay. In our previous lesson, some of you weren't able to attend, but I uploaded a recorded video of our previous lesson. Okay. Did you have the chance to watch it? Or do you remember what was the last topic that we learned? Would you like to share it with me? Okay, do you remember what we learned in our previous lesson?
About that kind of package expression.
Okay, back expressions. Thank you so much, Rodrigo. Okay, as Rodrigo mentioned, in our previous lesson, we were learning a topic related to celebrations. For example, birthdays, anniversaries, weddings, but also we learned back expressions to use in daily life conversation. Okay, but first we're going to review our first topic that we learned. Do you remember this topic, getting to know you? What do you remember from this topic? Would you like to share something?
It's when you try to know some people or something about some people.
Okay, excellent, Alejandro. Thank you so much. Well, as your classmate mentioned, in this first topic, lesson A, getting to know you, from unit 1, we learned how to obtain information from someone else, from someone that we don't know really well. For example, when we first met someone, we usually ask different questions to that person in order to get information. And for example, in our lesson, we learned some questions that we can ask to that person to know more about him or more about her. For example, we learned that we can ask questions like, for example, if we meet a new student in our classroom, the first question that we usually ask to that person is, what is your name? Okay, or what does your name mean? Are you named after someone? Do you like your name, or do you have a middle name? Okay, these are the basic questions that we usually ask to someone else, but there are also other categories and other questions that we can ask to that person. Okay, for example, lifestyle. Are you a full-time student? Common family? Where do you live? Do you like your neighborhood? Friends? And do you often make friends online? What's your best friend like? Okay, these are some questions that you can ask to other people when you meet it for the very first. Okay, this was the first topic that we learned. Sorry. And this was the grammatical topic. Do you remember how to use present of be and simple present? Can you tell me something from this topic? Okay, but what do you remember from this topic? Okay, Benjamin, what do you remember from present of be?
I don't remember. Is to be?
Yes, to be.
Okay.
Okay, well, just as a quick review, we learned the present of be and simple present. And in this case, we use the present simple to ask questions, okay? For example, we can ask questions, which answers can be yes or no. For example, are you from a big family? Yes, I am. I'm one of 6 children. Or no, I'm not. There are only 2 of us. Okay, and here we have other example. Are you and your friends full-time students? Yes, we are. We're English major, sorry. Or no, we're not. We're part-time students. And we also, we can use the auxiliary do. Do you remember this auxiliary? Do you have any brothers and sisters? And do you and your friends get together a lot? And we can also ask questions with WH questions. Okay, do you remember these WH questions? For example, why, what, how, when, to obtain more information or detailed information, in this case, from the person. Here we have other questions. What does your brother do? Or does he go to college? Okay, here are some questions. Well, in this case, you can use present of be and simple present to ask questions to other people. Okay. Okay. So far, do you have any questions? In this case, we're using. Do you have any questions? Guys, do you have any questions?
No.
No. Okay. Benjamin, do you have any questions?
No, thank you.
Okay. Give me a moment, please. Okay, guys, and that was the first topic that we learned. And then we also, in that same day, we also learned things in common, lesson B. Okay, in this case, okay, do you remember how to use to and either? Do you remember these words, Alicia?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. What can you tell me about this topic?
For I can say in Spanish.
Yes, you can say it.
To and either is yo también o a mí tampoco.
Okay, excellent, Alicia. Okay, excellent. Well, as Alicia mentioned, we use responses with to and either to say that we also do something as the other person, or we don't do the same activity. For example, here we have, I'm allergic to cats. This person is saying that he or she is allergic to cats, and other person responds, I am too, which means that this person is also allergic to cats. Okay, but in this case, this person is not repeating the same answer. For example, I'm allergic to cats. He's avoiding to say I'm allergic to cats again, but he's also, or she's also saying I am too, which means that he or she is also allergic to cats. And here we have, I'm not an animal lover. This person is saying that he doesn't like animals, okay? And the other person responds, I'm not either, which means that this person, for example, he or she, is not an animal lover too, okay? And then we have, I watch pro football. I do too. I do too means I watch pro football too, okay? And we can also use with can. I can shop for hours. I can too. And this means that I can shop for hours too, okay? Do you have any questions with this?
No.
Okay. Okay. And these are some activities that we did during our lesson. And then we have, sorry, lesson C from units, from the same unit, unit 1. It's called Tonight. Okay, do you remember this topic? And in this topic, we learn how to start a conversation strategies, or starting a conversation. Okay, do you remember that we practiced, or in this case, we listed some topics that are somehow good to start a conversation to someone for the very first time. Okay, do you remember this topic? What can you tell me about this topic, guys? Rodrigo, what can you tell me about this topic?
That maybe we don't use some special topics to start a conversation. Maybe, yeah, the salary. Yeah, we did a special. How do you say encuesta?
You can say a questionnaire or a poll in this case. Sorry.
Okay. A poll to these topics about how often it's to use these topics with start the conversation.
Okay, excellent, Rodrigo. Thank you so much. Okay, as your classes mentioned, we did an activity in order to know which of these topics are somehow good to start a conversation with someone for the very first time. And some of you agree that your salary is not a good topic. Your health is also not a good topic. And the most common topic that we all agreed that is the most common was the weather and where you live, okay? And then we have some other examples, conversations. We also did some activities to practice this topic. This topic was mainly based on the things or topics that you can use to start a conversation. And then we also learned how to use this word, actually. And we agree that we can use this word, actually, to give new or surprising information. And we also learned that we can use this word, actually, to correct things that people say or think. For example, so you're American. Well, actually, I'm from Canada. Okay, in this case, we're using this word to correct this person, okay? Sorry. Okay, and then we also did some examples. In this case, you have to choose the correct letter for each sentence. Okay, and then we learned the last topic from Unit 1, Lesson D, making a small talk. Okay, what do you remember from this topic, Alejandro? What can you tell me about this topic?
Small talk, it's more for know little things. For example, you can ask some person where is the weather or where is some place specific.
Okay, excellent, Alejandro, excellent. Well, as your classmate mentioned, a small talk is kind of like a very short or brief conversation that we usually start with someone, in this case, to know something very specific from that person. For example, we can talk about the weather, but only, for example, how's the weather today? Today is sunny, and just that, just to know something very specific, as your classmate mentioned. Okay, and in this case, we practice some questions in order to practice your speaking. Okay, okay, and we ask these questions. We practice these questions. When do you make a small talk? What do you talk about? Do you think it's all when a stranger talks to you? Are you a talkative person? Do you think you talk too much? Are you a good listener? Are you usually the talker or the listener in a conversation? Or what topics do you like to talk about? Okay, this was just some questions that we practiced in that lesson. Okay, and so, okay, and unit 2. Do you remember what we learned in unit 2? Okay, and in this unit, we learned 4 different topics. In our lesson A, we learned how to talk about interests with can't, like, hate, prefer, be good at, etc. Okay, let's check some of this topic. Okay, do you remember leisure time? What can you tell me about this topic? Benjamin?
Sorry. Leisure time, it or new report of the college. Okay, this is an example for the news newspaper. And tell about college news.
Okay. Well, as you mentioned, this is an example, but in this case, leisure time. Do you remember what is leisure time?
Leisure time? No, I don't remember leisure time.
You don't remember? Okay. Okay, Benjamin, thank you. Well, in this case, does anybody remember what's leisure time?
I can say in Spanish.
Yes, you can say it.
It's ocio.
Ocio. Okay, excellent, Alejandro. Thank you. Okay, Benjamin, as your classmate mentioned, in Spanish, we can say ocio or tiempo libre. Okay, Benjamin?
Okay, okay.
Okay, leisure time. Well, do you remember that in this lesson, we learned some, for example, some activities that people usually do in their leisure time or in their free time? Okay, and during this topic, we learned this grammar topic that is verb forms, verbs that you can use to express your interests or activities that you usually do in your free time. For example, we can use can or can't plus the verb, in this case, to say, I can play the piano. Okay, this is an activity that you can do during your free time or your leisure time. Or you can also use some of these phrases, I love, I like, I hate, I prefer, or I like. I love to swim, I like to play pool, among other activities. Okay, and then you can also use this structure, verb plus ing. I love swimming, I like playing pool, I hate working out. You can either use I hate to work out or I hate working out. I prefer to watch TV or I prefer watching TV. And then we have some other phrases. For example, in this case, we use a preposition plus the verb plus the ing ending. Okay, for example, I'm good at drawing people. I'm not interested in skiing. Okay, Alejandro, what are you good at?
Sorry, can you repeat me again?
Okay, what are you good at?
What? I'm good at drawing people.
Okay, you can say I'm good at drawing people, but can you give me your own example?
Yeah.
For example, you tell me that you like to work out, right?
Yeah.
Okay, in this case, how can you say this? I'm good at?
Working out.
Okay, excellent. I'm good at working out. And this means, thank you, Alejandro. I'm good at working out. Or you can say, I'm good at cooking, I'm good at reading, I'm good at swimming, etc. And then we have this phrase, I'm not interested in skiing. I'm not interested in skiing. You can also say, I'm not interested in watching TV. I'm not interested in playing pool and other examples, okay? But as you can see, when we use this kind of phrases that have prepositions. For example, in this case, the preposition here is at and in. And follow that structure, you have to add the ing ending to the verb. You cannot say I'm good at swim. You have to say I'm good at swimming. Okay, and then we did these exercises. Do you remember these exercises? Do you enjoy cooking? Okay, what do you remember the answer for this first sentence? Actually, yeah, I like
making
I like
own bread too.
Okay, excellent, Alejandro. I like making my own bread too. Thank you. And then we have this question. Are you good at? What do you think is the answer for this sentence?
Reading.
Okay. Are you good at reading? Okay. Because we have the preposition here. Are you good at reading music? In this case, no, but I can. What do you think?
Play music by ear.
Okay, excellent, Alicia. No, but I can play music by ear. Okay, and then we have, what kinds of games do you enjoy?
Playing.
Okay, playing. Okay, because we have the verb enjoy, and after this verb we usually add as you can see ing. Excellent, Alejandro. I enjoy reading. Okay, and these were some examples that we practiced about the verb forms, the verbs that you can use, some verbs and some phrases that you can use to express or to talk about your activities that you usually do in your leisure time or free time. Okay, so far, do you have any questions?
No.
Okay, excellent. Okay, and then we practice these short conversations and we did these examples. And then we practice, this grammar, object pronouns, everybody and nobody. Do you remember this grammar topic? Or what can you tell me about this topic? Rodrigo, what can you tell me about this topic, please?
I don't enter to the class, but maybe when you say to a people, when you say a lot of people or maybe no one or nobody.
Okay.
Quantity, maybe.
Okay, quantity. Okay, excellent. Rodrigo, thank you. Well, guys, in the lesson, when we learned this topic, we mentioned that we use object pronouns to replace, in this case, a noun. For example, I am pronoun, sorry, we replace a pronoun. In this case, the pronoun here is I am, okay? I am a singer. That's me on the CD. In this case, the object pronoun here is me. And what does this pronoun replace? What can you tell me? I am. I am, excellent. And then we have this following example. You're a musician. I like to hear you. Okay, and here, what is you? You're, okay, excellent. I like to hear you. Okay, she's pretty good. I like her. In this case, this is the object pronoun and it replaces she. Okay, excellent, Alejandro. And he's not local. I don't know him. In this case, him replaces he. Okay, excellent. Okay, as you can see, thank you, Alejandro. As you can see in these examples, and these words are known as object pronouns, and these are used to replace pronouns. Okay. We have already learned that the English pronouns are usually I am, you are, he, she, it is, they are, we are, and you are. Okay, do you remember this?
Yes.
Okay. And then we have other examples here. It's a nice song. I like it. In this case, give me a minute, sorry. Okay, it's a nice song. I like it. In this case, we all talking about the song, okay? It's a nice song. I like it. We play in a band, come to listen to us. To us replaces we, okay? And do you like them? In this case, them replaces their, okay? And then we use everybody, nobody to talk about a group of people from, for example, many people. For example, I can say good morning, everyone, or good morning, everybody. If I'm talking about you. About you, for example, I'm talking about Alicia, Benjamin, Alejandro, Rodrigo. I'm talking about you. You are a group, and I can use everybody to talk about you. However, we're using everybody, and you may think that everybody is a group of many people. But in this case, everybody works or has the function of a group. And because it's a group, we have to use it as, let me write it in the chat. Okay, everybody is equal to the pronoun it, okay? And we know that with it, we usually use the third person when we have to conjugate the verbs. For example, everybody says, as you can see, we have to add the S in the word, in the verb. It's the same as we were talking about he. He says that, but in this case, we're talking everybody says, everyone likes, nobody is, no one listens, okay? It has the same function as he and she, but in this case, it works as it. Ok, por ejemplo, aquí les menciono que estamos utilizando everybody, everyone, nobody, no one, como si fuera uno de los verbos, perdón, uno de los pronombres, como él, ella, pero en este caso, everybody, everyone, nobody, and no one, funciona como it, ok. Por lo tanto, tenemos que conjugar los siguientes verbos como si fueran en tercera persona. Okay, do you have any questions about this?
No.
It's up here. Give me a moment. Okay, sorry. Okay, this was the third lesson, lesson C, that we learned in Unit 2. I'm not really into it. I'm not really into it. What do you remember from this lesson, guys? What can you tell me about this lesson?
It's when you say that you don't like something or you don't do something, but in a friendly way.
Okay, excellent, Alejandro, excellent. Okay, as your classmate mentioned, in this topic, we learned how to talk about something that we don't like or something that we don't usually do, but in a friendly way, as he mentioned. For example, we can use this phrase, I'm not really into it. We can say, I'm not really into dancing. no me gusta bailar. No, no es lo mío. Se traduciría mejor. No es lo mío. And then with these some exercises, are you into photography? And then you have to choose. The correct answers. For example, no, not really. I mean, I take pictures, but I never edit them or anything. Okay. And then we learn how to use the word really. Okay, and we learned that we can use this word to make statements stronger or to make negative statements softer. Okay, and for example, not really can also be a polite way to answer no. Okay, sorry, okay. Okay, and also we did some examples to practice this word. For example, I really like to take a look sometime. I don't really have much time. Okay, this was a word that we learned that day and how to use it. Okay, and remember that the top verbs used with really are enjoy, like, know, and think. For example, I really enjoy dancing. I really like watching movies. I really know him. I really think that it's a good day today. Okay, these are some examples. And then we did some listening to talk about interesting hobbies. Sorry. Okay, and then in the following lesson, we talk about online forums. Okay, what do you remember from this topic, guys? What can you tell me about this topic? Rodrigo, what do you remember from this topic?
The same as I say. I couldn't enter to the class, but maybe it's when you do maybe our web page, something, or you only say something with a special day or something like that, like a hobbies.
Okay, excellent, Rodrigo. Well, in this lesson D online forums, we talk about how to write comments, or in this case, how to post comments in an online forum. In an online forum to talk about, in this case, your hobbies. Okay, we have learned so many hobbies. For example, working out, dancing, cooking, swimming, and then you have to talk about very briefly about that hobby. Okay, and then we also practice this we did a listening activity in order to practice these words every day, every week. You have to choose the correct answer, okay? And then we ask these questions. What kinds of websites do you regularly use, or what do you use them for? What are your favorite websites? Okay, for example, can you tell me what are your favorite websites? Anyone?
Maybe like a sports or anime website.
Okay, websites about sports or anime. Okay, excellent. I remember that some of you mentioned that your favorite websites, for example, are Facebook, Instagram, and as you already know that in Facebook you can talk about anything that you want. For example, in this case, you can talk about your hobbies. That was just something to practice. And then, okay, guys, we are running out of time, and please join to the same link again. Okay. Okay. Sorry. Okay, I come in here. Okay, sorry guys for that inconvenience. Okay, well, in Unit 3, we learned also 4 topics. Do you remember these topics? In Lesson A, we talk about exercise and how to stay healthy using the simple present and present continuous. Okay, do you remember this topic? What can you tell me about this topic, guys? Anything you remember from this topic?
It's like a healthy habit.
Okay, healthy habits. Okay, excellent. Okay, well, as your classmate mentioned, in this topic, we talk about some activities that people usually do to stay healthy. And also we talk about some activities that people usually do that aren't healthy for them. For example, can you mention, okay, which one? Can you repeat again,
Do
please?
exercise.
Okay, do exercise. Excellent. Benjamin, do you remember anything from this
Yes,
topic?
for example, eat a lot of fat, no, ¿cómo se llama? Junk food.
Excellent. Eat a lot of junk food. It's an
Junk
activity. Okay, junk food. Let me write it in chat. Okay. Rodrigo, what do you remember from this topic?
Just about eating junk food, drink a lot of water, maybe do exercise, yeah. Eat a lot of fruits and vegetables, something like that.
Okay, excellent. Thank you. And Alicia, what do you remember from this topic?
Practice sport, any sport. I don't know. Make a hobby. Do a hobby. Sorry.
Are mute.
We can hear you.
Okay, sorry, guys. Thank you. Well, as I mentioned at the beginning, we use the simple present and present continuous to talk about these type of activities, healthy life activities. For example, we use the simple present to talk about all the time, or usually, or generally, and routines. For example, how do you stay in shape? I walk everywhere. I don't have a car. Or does she get regular exercise? Yes, she does. She exercises 6 days a week. Or no, she doesn't. She doesn't exercise at all. And then we use the present continuous. The present continuous to talk about now, this day, this month, activities that happened in a moment, or temporary events. For example, what sports are you playing these days? I'm doing karate. It's getting me in shape. Okay, and is she trying to lose weight? Yes, she is. She's drinking diet drinks. Or no, she's not. She's not trying to lose weight. Okay, as you can see, we're using the present continuous. And the present continuous, as you know, we use the verb plus the ing end. Okay, and then we also did some activities. For example, how do you cope with stress? And we answer these questions. Okay, and then we learned this topic, aches and pains. Do you remember anything from this topic? What can you tell me about this topic, guys?
It's when you don't feel good. You're in mute again.
Sorry. Okay, when you don't feel good. Okay, excellent, Alejandro. And can you mention, for example, an ache and pain?
Something like a headache.
A headache, excellent. Okay, excellent. Okay, and Alicia, what do you remember from this topic? Okay, do you remember an example?
Sorry. I am mute. You mentioned different symptoms
Symptoms, okay.
to your, for example, stomach or toothache.
Okay, stomachache, headache, toothache. Okay, excellent. Okay, guys. Well, in this lesson B, aches and pains, we learn different, mostly vocabulary related to aches and pains. And as you mentioned, a toothache, stomachache, bad cough, among others, as you can see in these examples. And we also learned this topic, joining clauses with if and when. Do you remember when we use if and when? Okay, do you remember when we use these words, if and when?
If for affirmation.
Okay, okay. In this case, we don't use if for affirmations. Okay, but we use if for. Do you remember? Okay, remember that we use vision. For example, here we have this example. What do you take when you have a cold? Okay, and here we have the answer. I don't take anything when I have a cold. When I have a, you can use this word sentence, but pay attention. Sorry, we don't usually add a comma. For example, when I have a cold, put sentences. Okay, when I have a cold, I don't if. What do you do if you get a really bad cold? I drink hot vinegar with honey if I get a really bad cold. Or if I get a really bad cold, comma, I drink hot vinegar. Okay, these are just 4 questions. Benjamin?
No.
Okay, Alejandro, Rodrigo, Yalisha, do you have any questions? Okay, unit 3, really, how come? Okay, do you remember anything about this topic? Alejandro, do you remember anything from this topic?
It's when you're trying to do the other person to talk about some specific topic.
Okay, excellent. Well, as your classmate mentioned, during this lesson, we learn how to, as it mentions here, encourage people to continue talking during a conversation. We usually, remember that we usually ask, and you remember, follow-up questions. Do you remember what these follow-up questions are? For example, when you ask someone something, you continue asking questions to that person in order to obtain more information about a specific topic or about this person. Okay, and then we did some reading activities. We did this experiment. Well, it's not a grammar topic, but they are some words that you can use to show surprise during a conversation. Do you remember these words?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, remember that we practice this word in a conversation. For example, oh, really? Wow, okay. These are some words to show surprise when you talk to someone. For example, here we have, I'm working 2 jobs this semester. You're kidding? 2 jobs in a conversation. And then we did some activities. Listening. We learned about health advice. Okay, but in this case, we learned how to talk about, to give some kind of, you can take some pills, you can take some tea, etc. And so far, these have been the topics that we have learned during these 3 units. And do you have any questions about this review, this quick review? Alejandro, Alicia, Benjamin, Rodrigo, do you have any questions?
No.
Okay, guys. Well, as I mentioned at the beginning of the lesson, we only have 4 minutes left. On Thursday, we're having our first exam, our first test about these 3 units that we have made a review about. Okay. Well, if you have any other more questions, I have already posted the videos for each lesson in case you want to rewatch them. Or if you have specific questions, you can post it on the Jama group. And finally, I would like your activities on the Recreo platform. You have this. Sorry, here we have teacher Miguel. Would you like to mention something?
Yes. So listen, this exam, this test is a progress test. Okay, it's not the end of the level. It's a progress test. It's a progress test for unit 1, 2, and 3. And remember, also in Recreo, you will find many activities to reinforce the learning, to practice all of these topics that you have been learning from unit 1 to unit 3. Okay, so it's important that you finish the activities by March 31. Why? Because we will need to deliver a report, okay, about the progress, about the learning, about the classes, and about everything, okay? So maybe you are in time to answer a club. That's good. Maybe you are delayed with your activities. Don't worry. You have some time. Okay. But yes, please check Recreo because you will find many activities for you to remember and to practice these topics. Okay. You have been learning with teacher Jose.
Okay, thank you so much, teacher.
Yes, thank you.
Well, guys, if you don't have any more questions, that's it for today's lesson. And I'll see you on Thursday for the progress test that I already mentioned. Okay?
Okay.
Okay, thank you so much, guys, for being here today. Thank you, teacher.
Thank you.
You.
Thank you.
Have a
Thank you,
nice
my
day.
friends. Thank
Bye.
you.
Bye-bye.
Goodbye.
See you.
Thank you.
I have a question.
Okay.
How can I into the Recreo site? Because I can enter.
Okay. Well, I'm going to tell this in Spanish, so I can be quick.
Okay.
Ok, bueno, en la plataforma de Yammer, estás en la plataforma, ¿cierto?
Sí, sí.
Ok, en el grupo, el maestro Miguel puede revisar lo que se ha publicado en el grupo y él publicó como que un pequeño tutorial sobre cómo entrar a esta página, Recreo. Igual puso el link de la página y también agregó un archivo de Excel. En este archivo de Excel se encuentra tu correo y la contraseña con la que vas a acceder a esta plataforma. Y en este video te muestra cómo entrar a la plataforma, cómo abrir cada actividad, cómo registrarte y cómo ir checando tu progreso durante cada actividad. ¿Ok?
¿Ese en qué grupo está? Perdón?
En It Has My Name. Tiene mi nombre, perdón.
Ok,
Teachers Classroom.
ok.
Ok. Bueno, si tienes más preguntas, me puedes mandar un mensaje por la plataforma o por mi correo.
Ok, perfecto. Sí,
Muchas
el fin de
gracias.
semana estuve
Igualmente.
tratando de hacerlo.
Sí. Sí, voy a estar pendiente si tienes alguna duda.
Ok, perfecto.
Ok.
Gracias.
Ten un buen día.
Igual, cuídate. Bye.
Gracias, igual. Bye.